Last two times we used cargo on our first tutorial to start a project, and in the previous tutorial to run an example without any explanation. So today we're going to look into the Rust package manager. So cargo downloads dependencies, compiles packages, makes distributable packages, and it does this by doing four things. So it introduces two metadata files with various bits of package information. It fetches and builds packages dependencies. It invokes rustc or another build tool with the correct parameters to build your package, and introduces conventions to make working with Rust packages easier. When I go here to my Rust environment, and let's check cargo. So cargo is the package manager. We can pass many options and commands to this cargo package manager and building tool. So for example, we can do a cargo build, which will compile a package. We can do a cargo check. We check a local package and all its dependencies for errors. Cargo clean, to remove artifacts that cargo has generated in the past. And artifacts are files or set of files created as a result of the compilation process. This includes linkable libraries, executable binaries, and generated documentation. We can cargo fetch, that fetches dependencies of a package from the network. Cargo run a binary or example of the local package, and many more things here that we can do with cargo. So we've noticed that when we used this cargo new, then cargo already created these folder structures. It included some files, and we're going to take a look during this series of tutorials of what everything means. When we created our hello world example in the first tutorial, we used cargo new hello world. We can pass options, for example, like a bin, because we're making a binary program, and if we were making a library, we would pass lib. So cargo will generate this cargo TOML file, this folder source, and inside this folder source, this main.rs. So let's take a look at cargo TOML. So we have here what is called a manifest. And this manifest contains all of the metadata that cargo needs to compile your package. And this file is written in the TOML format. It's pronounced like TOML. So if we don't know how to pronounce, they give us a hint here. I pronounce many times wrong, like TOML, but important is to understand what a manifest is. So a manifest is a description of a package or a workspace in a file, and this will guide cargo to compile the package. So cargo generate a hello world program when we use this cargo new, and this is also known as a binary crate. We'll talk about crates, packages, modules in another tutorial. For now, let's go back here. So after it created, we could also run cargo build, and then it would compile the hello world, and then we could run simply by calling this what is generated from the build. Or we can also run the cargo run to compile and then run all in one step. And this is what you're doing here. Cargo run, and then it would execute. If we are ready to release, we can use cargo build release to compile the files with some optimizations turned on. So cargo build release puts the resulting binary in the target release folder instead of the target debug folder. Compiling debug mode is the default. Compilation time is shorter since the compiler doesn't do any optimizations, but the code will run slower, and the release mode takes longer to compile, but the code runs faster. CD documents. Let's see what I have here inside. I already have my hello world. We have here this cargo lock. In our case, we don't have any dependencies, but this cargo.lock file contains information about dependencies. So this file is automatically generated by Cargo. It's not intended for manual editing. We have here version 3 and something like this. Let's check the Cargo TOML, and here we have the name of the package, version, the edition, and we can see more keys and definitions at the documentation about manifest. Dependencies here, it's also empty as we don't have any dependencies for the hello world example. Then we see inside the source there should be our rs hello world main.rs that will print hello world, and I also printed test during our first tutorial, and we have our target folder, and here we have our debug, and here we would have our hello world that prints hello world and test. So we're executing this application which was generated, compiled and built by our Cargo. This is what we did in our first tutorial, but now we know more about Cargo and how to use it. So that's it for now, and next time we'll talk about Rust module system. So we'll discuss what are packages, what are crates, what are modules, and I see you next time.